All right, we have the Dow Jones continuing higher, and it closed with a little bit of indecision. But you got to remember, this is a really, really strong and long move. This is almost 2%. Let's look at the weekly. If we really kind of look at, we definitely know the trend is up. Okay, but we really just have to see that, we're kind of running at the top of the channel, and it kind of just needs some rest at the end of the day. But I mean, that doesn't mean that you go bullish or bearish. No, matter of fact, it doesn't mean that you go bearish at all, quite honestly, because you did have follow through, weakening of some volume, but things still look good. But a lot of stuff looks extended. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Kind of go from there. You saw a big, definitely the Russell at the top of the channel, which you could see, and they basically just had that little shooting star and an engulfing pattern. We want to see if it's going to come back to this level of this 1500 level, if we're going to get to the middle, or are we going to come all the way back to the bottom of the channel. No one knows, but we'll just play it by ear. But that's kind of what you should be expecting right now. I don't know if I could, yeah. So the volatility index for the Russell is the VRX, and you can see that it is definitely at a very low point right here, but it's been at a low point all this year. So that doesn't mean that all of a sudden you're going to get a volatility spike that we had back basically at that little flash crash. I think is when S&P downgraded. The US was the last time we got that, but you can see this is the '08 flash of volatility. These things need, if you're going to be doing stuff, you really need to know what your Greeks are. If you're not just doing directional plays on buying calls or puts. So that's kind of what you want to look at. S&P 500. S&P 500 is continuing on the weekly. You can see consolidate sideways and continuing up. But then you see the indecision candle or small body candle, not really much going on. So you kind of can say, okay, is it going to pull back, and how deep is it going to come back to retest this and then bounce back? No one knows. So just, play it by ear and don't really try to guess exactly where things are going to be going. Same thing, you can see the top of the channel here. That's pretty much just testing that, and maybe it gets down to give you a nice little dip that you can buy. But we'll see how far, how deep the dip will go per se. But some names to look at. Apple, Apple pretty much. We got to see what's going on. Uh, it gapped up from the Chinese earnings and then gave you 3 days down. So this, at the end of the day, I'm still bullish on this right now, right here, right now. It's just a matter that it needs to get above this 571.88 area to really be attractive again. But just kind of just waiting, and we'll see what's going on. It's not, especially it broke this gap high. So this, when it gapped up, the low of this candle was pretty much what I was looking at, and I got in and out of a thing I was looking actually to get in today. I mean this day, which was Tuesday, to rip to the upside, but it barely popped up above the high of this, and I just came out because it didn't look right. So it wasn't right at the time, and it could set up to be good. Google is continuing to look good to the upside. Just have to really, it's a little extended, but you kind of gotta see what's going on with that. But it's the trend is still very, very much bullish. Facebook, we can see that we have pretty much this line right here, that are we going to test and hold this previous pivot point, and it closed below the 10, so we just have to see how far it's going to go. Is this just a retracement? Are we going to get something back? And is this previous support line going to basically hold? And you can see it from this as well. So you also look at the weekly, you see it kind of a shooting star per se, meaning that the bulls had it all the way up to the top of this candle. So they had it all the way to 58.58, and the bears were able to drop it and close it at 53. So we'll see and of course this could be negated if they break above that high. So you want to keep that stuff in mind as well. Twitter gave a lot of profits back. It was down 13% on what was it, on Friday, and but again, you should have been peeling profits, especially with this indecision candle. There's no problem with that. I'm not bearish this at all. A lot of people are, but you do have a clear shooting star on the weekly. But this is the IPO high, and you can see for the past 4 weeks that this thing has gone, up. It was up 40%, and that's a huge amount for this movement on this IPO. But at the end of the day, we don't know, is this just, is this going to continue to the downside, or are you going to get a weak bounce, or weak day tomorrow, maybe a hammer or something like that, or is it going to really flush down? And is this previous level of 60.24 going to hold? So that's something that you should consider as well. Is this going to hold this previous pivot point that when we broke above, we shot above? So got to look at that stuff as well. Netflix rolled. I wouldn't look to get in this on the long side until it recaptures that 10. But I'm trying to figure out when did I put? I think this line was actually probably from just this here. So let me take this one out because I really don't like the way that looks. But you can see this uptrend line is broken, and this channel that was in place is now needs to be recaptured with the 10 bearish MACD. And then volume increased to the downside. So we'll see how this one plays out. But right here, I would just be waiting to get in something. 3D looked good. Continued to the upside. Gave back some profits on on Friday as well. Another one I was looking at was 3M. That one actually continued to the upside. So that shows it shows a little bit of strength here. Cat, another one that I'm looking at, if it can get above these highs, that might be something. This might just be a small flag to continue to the upside. So you also got to look to see if there's anything on the weekly that you need to be aware of. So you do see that this is a prior pivot point, and there's a lot of trash actually around here. So but we'll see, right here, right now, we'll see if it can pop above at least this high right here. You also have Disney. Disney has been, killing it. It's pretty much been up, a tremendous amount as well. It's up, almost 3%, and that's a good sign. But again, getting to the top of this channel that you can see off the weekly as well. So we'll see if it's going to continue, or it's going to just give you a nice little pullback that you can get, and then you don't have to chase, and you'll see how that one works out as well. Cat was another one that I've been looking at. I think that, yeah, so that one again might set up for a flag if it gets above this 91.67. That could be a good look. And I think Home Depot was another one that I'm looking at, but I wanted to definitely clear these previous highs. But if it could do that, this is definitely a cup and handle. If you can look at it, you could say a cup, handle, and a breakout above these highs of 82.27 will be really nice. So we'll see what's going on from there. And I closed out a lot of positions. I'm going to be traveling, so I'm going to be actually just trading very lightly, and I'm just rolling up stops on just a couple positions, and that's pretty much it. So just wanted to put this out to just kind of show what the weekly stuff is looking at, and then I'll post some charts actually tomorrow throughout the day on Twitter, so you can check that out. Just some potential names that might be some stuff to look at. But hope that you enjoyed your weekend, and take care.